One mistake that those of us in political life make is we try to, make others happy or be all things to all people or read a poll and do what the poll says. And, Washington knew that it wasn't a solitary profession where I'm just going to do it my way or it's the highway. I mean, he understood leadership is about a group, and you're not a leader if you don't have followers. But I think Washington understood that, with humility, I'm going to decide what is the right thing to do, and then I'm going to do my best to do it. And whether or not people agree with me, they will respect that in a leader, and people do. I've learned again and again in 20 years in elected office that people will respect honestly expressed disagreement more than they'll respect you for saying, oh no, I agree with you, and they think that you're probably just saying that. They could tell with Washington, by all accounts, that here was a guy who had a moral center, who was going to make decisions, who was going to do what he thought best. People didn't view him as a self-dealer who was trying primarily to promote himself. And that meant that even when people disagreed with Washington, they had huge respect for him. And that's the thing about Washington that is interesting, is that it's the character of the man. It wasn't his prose style. I mean, Jefferson was a better writer. Madison was probably a better synthesizer of all this different knowledge. That Madison took all these ideas in and used it in creating this ingenious Constitution that he was a principal drafter of. That wasn't Washington's gift. Washington was plenty bright, or we wouldn't be doing this speech 200 years later. But his real standout quality was the character and integrity. And it's funny you talk about that we kind of think of Washington on a pedestal. I'll tell you a funny story about Washington and my earlier service as governor of Virginia. In the capital of Virginia, there is that beautiful marble statue of the French sculptor Houdon of Washington. And it's a priceless statue in the center of the atrium in the Virginia Capitol that Thomas Jefferson designed, and it is a really beautiful piece of art. When that statue was done, the casting of it that enabled it to be crafted was given, the rights of it were given to the Commonwealth. And one of the weird little powers that the governor of Virginia has is if anybody wants to make a copy of that statue, they have to get the permission of the governor of Virginia to do it. And governors over the time, since the statue was installed in the Capitol in the late 1700s, governors over time have granted those permissions on occasion. I didn't know this was a power of the governor of Virginia, but at one point when I was governor, I got a request from the Order of the Cincinnatus. They wanted to do a casting of the Washington statue in Richmond to put at their headquarters here in Washington. And what they said is, and we're going to do it very differently. Every other one of these that's been done has been put on a pedestal. We want to do it, and we want to put it basically at pedestrian level, so that you can walk up to that statue and kind of confront the man, not confront the myth. And so they cast the statue, and they have it. It's slightly larger than life size, but they have it in a way where you can really kind of take Washington off the pedestal and see that beautiful work of art and see the man in a different way. And you got to be careful about putting people on pedestals, because every leader, even the best, even Washington, had their quirks and their weaknesses and their failings and flaws. And that's not to demean the person. Actually, when you become aware of that, it makes you have more respect that, wow, a flawed person can really do some amazing things. And that's a great life lesson, not only for leaders, but it's a great life lesson for anybody. The amazing degree to which flawed individuals can accomplish great things. That's an important thing.